as a parent.
That's a
It,
good point. Yeah.
you don't continue, yeah, you search for different solutions, you search for different ways, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just really what you have, what every parent and, every teacher should think is that it's a matter of time. Try out. It's about
Mm-hmm.
experimentation.
Yeah.
Try out. As a teacher, I've had to experiment, many different ways. From my first year of teaching, just from my first year of teaching,
Mm-hmm.
I learned one of the key factors that my students, I used to let them pick their seating. I'd have my
Oh,
seating,
huh.
it's just something as simple as that. I
Right.
I would let them pick their seating, okay?
Hmm.
And they would come in, I'd say good morning, they would pick their, and then what I found out, what I saw right away is that they used to fight over seats. They used to, they used to
Ah.
yell at each other. I sat here first. No, 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 and that a lot of times would take a lot of time just getting settled, when it really
Mm-hmm.
should be 1, 2, 3. So um, after that first school year, then I decided, okay, this is where I went wrong. I
Hmm.
need to assign seats. Okay. I
Uh-huh.
Now I need to assign seats. Like, in other words, it's no negotiation. Wherever I put you, that's
Mm-hmm.
where you're going to sit. That's where, okay. And I don't mean literally physically, but wherever I
Right.
assign you, whatever seat I assign you, that's where you're going to
Mm-hmm.
sit. So they had to learn the routine, and that's part
Yes.
of the routine, so
Mm-hmm.
it's something little like that. And as we know, elementary students, they thrive on routine. They need routine as early as
Yes.
pre-K. As
So
early as pre-K,
important.
they need routines, and you get to see how they really need it even all throughout. As they grow older, they need a certain routine. And why? Because they have to have a foundation, a basis, for everything. And once they
Mm-hmm.
learn the routine, it becomes regular, like the back of their hand. And after a while, it starts with the foundation, and
Mm-hmm.
then they get to choose, but they know how to. And then they know how to choose. So they get to middle
Mm-hmm.
school, and say the teacher is, more lenient on picking your seat, for example,
Uh-huh.
then they know how to do it without incident, without other issues,
Mm-hmm.
So,
Well, they have a certain amount of boundaries
oh
that
yeah,
they've grown, they've kind of grown into understanding the boundaries, where when they're younger it's
uh,
like the sky's the limit. And
right,
I think that's a really good point for parents who are homeschooling too.
yeah.
I mean, having those really strict boundaries when they're younger is
Mhm.
important, because I know, yeah, I mean, we want to train our kids to be able to teach, be independent learners, but it's
Mhm.
not going to happen when they're in first grade.
Right, right.
And I mean, that's that is so true.
Absolutely. So, yeah. So, so yeah. But I guess coming back to, as far as encouragement, it's
Hmm.
trial and error. It's, so I can
Yes.
say that even just
Uh-huh.
as an electives teacher, trial and error has to continue to happen.
Hmm.
Like you said, set boundaries. Rules and expectations. Let them look at it, recite it. Just a recitation of that on a daily basis.
Hmm.
And once they get to know that, then eventually they find who they are through that discipline, and
Right.
they get to do it on their own more independently after that, and make the right choices.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. That's really good, because yeah, we can kind of leave it way too open with electives,
mm,
instead of, giving a few choices,
mm,
and letting them choose from those couple of things. But I love that you're focusing on, that it is trial and error, because I
mm.
think a lot of times we think that, well, these teachers in the schools, they know everything. They like have their lesson plans laid out, but yet you talk to special ed teachers, and a lot of teachers just in general, and it is trial and error. And
Mm.
with every new group of students that comes in, it's a whole new
The
whole
new
new
experience.
thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's encouraging. I mean, it is. It's, and our working with our own kids. I think maybe before we even started the broadcast, you were saying, you know your child better than anybody else, and you've had them since the beginning, and so you probably know more on how to try and what not
Right.
to.
But
So
that doesn't mean that the challenges don't come. Exactly, the challenges will still be there. You know,
that is good. Yes.
because
Mm-hmm.
there's always a different level. There's always they grow into a different stage.
Yes.
So it's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Challenges come, you have to be willing to be flexible, willing to try it. If it doesn't work, you try something else, and be okay with it. Be okay